Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do continue, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku, and we also had his crew. All of them have reunited on Amazon Lily. And Deku, he found out about his fan club, and now about the fleet he has at his command. The people who follow Mina. The people who follow Toru and Ochako with the fan club of Deku's. And then Kirishima with the grand fleet he broke out of Impel Down. People who admire his strength and are willing to follow him because he gave them their freedom. There we go. Why was that a tongue twister? Anyways, now, with that all being said, Deku, he was quite happy to be back on Amazon Lily. It has almost been 5 months since he left home, and in that amount of time, not a lot really has happened. He's tried to get his crew back, he fought against Enel, Wapol, and came here. He's heard a few things about Alabasta, and he's thought about heading there, but he decided against it for now. Though, he is getting a bit concerned. With Kirishima's recent actions, he is the closest person to a billion-dollar bounty, and that might get the warlords on their backs, especially because Boa talked about how the admirals and the world government want the warlords to find Kirishima. Now, this was rather a bit of a strange thing. However, Deku, him and Boa, they spent some time together after Deku had a feast for his return. And Deku, he currently is a bit happy. His daughter Ava is almost 2 years old, and that means quite a lot. He may not be around for her second birthday, but he can still try to make up for time while he's here. He has a lot on his plate, a lot on his mind, and a lot to do. He wants to hunt down Doflamingo, a man who produces the smiles and ultimately was a part in what happened to Ava, his mother figure. Now, currently we do actually have Deku today, or this morning, who does go to somewhat open his eyes as he does not feel his bed swinging. He doesn't feel a thin blanket on him. And right now, he feels somebody's body pressing into him. And Deku, he currently does something to open his eyes. As right now Boa has her arm laid across him, and right now Deku, he does something to turn his head. Him going to actually somewhat sit up, as right now Boa does something to cling on to him. Him going to bring up his hand and grab onto Boa's arm. Him going to slowly move her away, as he actually does something to get up and turn. Now, Deku's going to walk over to the crib. Him walking over, bending down and grabbing his daughter. Him going to pick her up, as right now she does go to somewhat react. Now, Deku does go to leave the room, and right now he is going to walk through the palace with a lot on his mind. Currently, he's going to be making some breakfast, and spending some time with Ava. It's nice for him to take it easy for a second. And Deku, he is trying to keep his mind calm, keep his mind steady. He's got a lot to figure out. I mean, first of all, there's heading out. And when exactly they might do that. He does want to spend time here on the island for a sec. Not hand over the devil fruit, because that's a bad idea, but let's see. The ship. The ship is going to be a big problem, along with that fucking army they basically have off the shores of the Amazon Lily. That's going to draw attention. Okay. So, what can they do there? Right. Right. Okay. Maybe they could... No, no. Those people gave him their loyalty. Shit. Okay. He has their loyalty and he can... Okay, maybe... Someone needs to command them. there is that. Most of his crew is back, but now, yeah, someone's gonna have to take his sidelined. He doesn't have to do that, but hmm. They can all be in proper communications. They can do that, handle it that way. Hmm. Currently, Deku, so I'm gonna sit there and sipping on his coffee. He's going to have to cut some people off the crew. I mean, he could leave Jiro here, but if she's wanted by the Marines, this place would be the perfect place for her. Talk to her about that, or if she doesn't want to stay on the crew, figure that out. Though, all she really does is help maintain the ship. Does she know how to sail? I mean, there is Asui, but Asui is also their navigator, so. Hmm. Right. Lillian, he could leave her on Amazon Lily, but he'd never hear the end of it when he gets back. Plus, she's not really. She doesn't like going anywhere without him, so. Okay, but Mina and Kirishima are a package deal, so you can't get rid of them. Bakugo's Bakugo, and Kirishima's. Well, not Kirishima. Todoroki, he's very much influential. He's the son of the number two admiral, or he's the son of an admiral, and oh god, he's getting his everything mixed up. Deku's the one's gonna sit there, and right now he's trying to get it all planned out in his head. He's getting a lot of things mixed up right now. Bakugo is actually a second in command. Momo's also a second in command. So there's that. Those two can't leave. Kirishima and Mina, they can't leave either. They're a package deal. Todoroki, that guy is one of his biggest allies. Also, the fact that he's the son of an admiral means he kind of does spit in the face of the world government, especially since he's very well wanted and Endeavor would track him down. And Deku, he does think about how Lillian, he can't really get rid of her. He could leave her here, but she'd just be clinging on to him every day if he returns. Okay, so Kendo's their doctor. She's valuable. Toru and Ochako. Toru's abilities are good for stealth. Ochako's abilities are good for combat. Right. He knows someone they might need to drop then. But does Jiro know how to work on the ship? No, probably not. That'd be way too valuable right now, and they need a shipwright. Okay. That ran on Deku's mind. And currently there is, or Boa does something to stir awake. Her finding Deku and their daughter gone, as she was gonna head out. Eventually finding Deku somewhat feeding Ava, and enjoying his own coffee. And Boa, she's quite happy to see this. Especially because Deku, he did make her some breakfast as well. Now, Deku doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't know how long he might be here, but right now, he's got to figure out what to do about the situation with the people off their shores. Whenever that's all said and done, he'll probably try and head out. Are you sure? Yeah. I don't want to cut Asui off the crew, but she's been very helpful. She will do her own thing. You are aware of that. Yeah, I know. I figured out who I can cut, but I don't know if they're going to like the decision I had made. Though, we need to stay in communication. Do you not use phones? No. Phones can sometimes get a bit iffy on the seas, you know? Especially with storms and interference. I mean, I don't know. So you haven't been using the Denden mushies? The what? The snails. I don't think we have, no. I mean, I've seen some around, but they seem kind of weird to me. Alright then. Listen, I will find you some, and how about you head out after that? You and your crew can stay in contact with each other if you all have one of them, and it will be simple. All you need to do is understand. They're connected to a psychic network, and you need to know the exact number of the one you are trying to call. Really? Yup. Though do be aware, there is a limit, though there are ways of boosting their range. You sure? Yes, yes. Well, they are better than a phone in some circumstances. They also do have their own disadvantages. For example, their range in their networks. Oh, yes, yes. To be fair, I think they're better used in the colonies. They're more of a bigger mass on the red line. Oh, right. That's that's probably better. Ah, it's nice having you home, Izuku. Darling. Thanks. Now, Deku doesn't want to give her a smile. And Boa, she does have her face turn a bit red. As, right now, Deku, he has to head out to see his crew. And over Deku to get to the house, there currently is a few things happening. Todoroki, drunk in a hammock, as usual. Bakugo, working out, as usual. Ochako, augmented his weight because he was being a bit arrogant, and she didn't want to see him crumble like a sack of potatoes. So there's that. And there currently actually is Kirishima. Deku looking around. Before Kirishima, he does actually someone jump out of the ground. Him going to someone get sent flying upwards with momentum as he's going to talk about it. Him going to someone land with his body covered in rock-like armor. Hey man, how long were you down there? I think about 10 or so minutes. It's not the problem. What you doing here so early? I wanted to talk to all of you. I expected you all still be asleep. Hmm? No, no. I think it's just the doctor and Lillian who are still asleep, but you may need to ask Momo. Right. Now, Deku does a look around, and currently he does gonna wake up a few people. As right now he does gonna wake up Todoroki, Momo, Lillian, Kendo, and Jiro. Now, currently Deku he does gonna gather the entire crew, all of them, and he actually is trying to talk about it. Here's how things are right now. Things are a bit cramped. And he doesn't want to say it like this, but ultimately he is going to have to drop some members of the crew. Now, some of them are kind of alarmed, and Deku, he doesn't want to talk about it. Right now, they're only going to be dropping one, and one of them are not permanent. Hmm? What do you mean? Listen, we already heard about the fucking. What was this guy? The guy's name again? Denki. Yeah, the guy who was surprised that you were married to the Pirate Empress. Yeah, him. That annoying guy. Listen, he's joining the crew as a cook. And not gonna lie, we all kinda need him. Since a few of us, let's all be honest, we kinda like to cook our own favorite foods. Yeah, that's fair. I once went looking around, and there currently is Momo. She doesn't mind cooking, though she feels a bit strange doing it with her upper class hands. Yeah. Now, Deku, he's talking about it. Him turning to Toru and telling her he wants her to be his commander, command the fleet currently off the coast. Inform them he's making her a commander of his. She works on his behalf. Are you serious? Yes, you're a commander. In fact, Jiro. What? Why don't you go with her? Excuse me? No, no, I can't. Why not? I mean, it's just I want to stay on the crew. It's weird, but maybe I can find a place, right? Maybe you guys can help me out, train with me. I mean, show me a few things about hockey. I mean, just something. Okay, that's a bit strange. Don't underestimate Norizuku. You don't know what she's capable of. You can read her, but only at the surface. She can hide her intent and emotions. And that's certainly interesting. Though, what is her story? That went on Deku's mind. And he doesn't want to stare at Jiro. Against his better judgment, yeah, sure. Though they are going to need a better ship. And that, right now, is on Deku's mind. Him at least going to tell Boa about that later. And currently, everyone, they do go to somewhat relax a bit. Bakugo training on the island with Kirishima. And currently there actually is Deku, who he is out on a bit of a stroll, walking around. And right now, Deku does hear a bit of a commotion, as right now he's going to turn his head as Denki does him running out of a bar. Him currently going to turn and look around, seeing Deku and running over. Him going to actually throw himself behind Deku to hide. And Deku, he has to see everybody come running out, as currently some of the women, they do go to look around, asking exactly where the man went, them turning to see Deku. As some of the girls do just want to wave over to Zuku and give him a bit of a smile. Deku bring up his hand and waving over, as he does just going to turn and point in a direction, throwing his finger over his shoulder. And they do this and going to smile. Some of them going to thank him in a very flirty way, and they're going to run off. As Denki, he does his own going to throw his head back over his shoulder. Are they gone? I thought you were trying to pick up chicks. Yeah, no. I'm trying to pick them up, not be pulled apart by them. There's a difference. Along with that, they didn't like my cooking. uh, oh god, that's funny. What? Okay, first of all, you're gonna be joining us as a cook, right? I mean, yeah, fine. Show us a bit of your skills. Huh? As your captain, I order you to make us lunch. Lunch for about, let me see, well, let's say 15 people, just to round it off nicely. You're serious? Yep, 15 people. Wait, well, why 15? I mean, are there only like 13 people in your crew? Like 12, actually? No, you were right, 13. You're number 13, Denki. The latest arrival. Denki will bring up his hand. Actually, I'm going to throw his finger into Denki's chest, telling him, he wanted to be a part of his crew, he won't make it easy. Understand, his crew is very, very serious. Cut to Todoroki passed out in the hammock. Got back. He wants them all to understand. Everything he does is to push them. Bakugo and Kirishima. Those two, whenever he first met them, were street punks. And now Kirishima is one of the most wanted men this side of the world. So, what exactly does that tell him? It tells me you guys are serious. I mean, is there any preference for food? I'd say something with meat. And that's got to be the key ingredient. So barbecue. Perhaps. Though, I gotta go back to the palace. I gotta go see my. Your what? I'm done talking to you. They're gonna turn, and quickly somewhat walk away fast, as Denki is a bit confused. Was he gonna say his wife? I mean, don't get him wrong. If he was married to Boa Hancock, ooh, there are a lot of things he'd do. Though, wait, wait a second. He get back and see his wife. Go back and see his. Wait a minute. How long has this guy been with Boa Hancock? No, no, no. That's a stupid idea. I mean, he's the same age as him, and I mean, it. Hmm. The way the way she acted, though. No, no. He couldn't have a kid. That ran on Deku's mind. Currently, him going to turn and hear somebody currently talk about how they found him. Deku turning. Ash is going to turn and sprint away. And Deku heads back to the palace. Now, Deku, he does talk about a few things. And currently, there actually is Toru and the rest of the crew. Bakugo is currently lifting some weights augmented by Ochako with the Tun fruit. Toru is currently getting a few things in order. And currently Jiro, she's doing something of her own. She's doing something sketchy. And that is looking around the island. She's trying to understand what's going on here. What to really do, what to really say, what to find. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things here. And she does have kind of free reign here because she fits the mold. Now, it's kind of interesting. And there actually is Kendo. Kendo wanted to look into more possible solutions for antidotes to venom, and maybe even find plants on the island that could be unique to help heal people. Treat things, cure certain things, you name it. And she does run into Denki, who is trying his best to gather raw ingredients. Now, there actually is Lillian, who, while she wanted to try and come along with Kendo, Kendo talked about how she should probably stay here, with Momo. And Momo herself was going over a few things. Her, currently, someone making a few phone calls, trying to understand how her businesses are doing. Now, there actually is Mina. Mina herself is doing her own thing. She wanted to talk to her crew, let them know what's going on and what's what. And that was its own set of challenges. Let's currently cut over to Deku. Deku, he was quite intrigued about a few things. He was able to talk with Toru, and she is more than willing to be a commander of the fleet he has. And that's an understatement, really. She's excited because now she can technically be a pirate. She's been given her freedom and command over a fucking army. Oh boy, must be her birthday. Now, Deku, he went to talk to Boa, and he made things quite clear. He's going to need a bigger boat. Now, Boa was more than happy to provide. She expressed about how it may take a few more days, but it is technically possible. They're going to be able to modify one of the other Kuza vessels, or possibly upgrade Deku's ship. And it could just be easier if Deku goes out to sea and just steals a regular pirate ship, commandeers it under his flag. You know? And Deku, he does somewhat like the idea. And currently, there actually is the world government. The world government, they have been trying to find any sign of anyone who escaped Impel Down. They are searching a few places nearby. And Amazon Lily, they're steering clear of that because of what happened with Miracle last time. So, they're going to give that a wide berth and hopefully not set off the Kujas. Because if they are sailing in their seas, yeah. Just because they have a treaty with Boa doesn't mean the Kujas have to honor it. Since Boa has already kind of done a few things that she already wants to do. And she doesn't like to listen to orders, especially from lesser men. Now, with all that being said, currently Deku's getting a few things in order. And after he does start heading back, he does walk over to where his crew is all set up. Now, Deku does to find Denki. Him currently hard at work doing a few things. However, he does have some bandages on his arms and some on his torso. And Deku, he does it a walkover. Him currently seeing a animal on a spit. As right now Deku, he's surprised. Hmm. So, where'd you get that? Hmm? Oh, yeah, that had its own set of challenges. Right. So, I'm not trying to sound like an ass, Denki, but exactly how did you kill a giant boar all on your own? Oh, it was a bit of a challenge, but I asked for help from Bakugo, and he just kind of gave me a sword. Though I don't really like using swords. Hmm. Okay. So you used one and killed it, or what? Because without hockey, that's not an easy feat. No, no. I kind of do physical training, you know? So you overpowered a giant boar. I mean, I know Root Skyna has some pretty crazy animals. What? Oh, yeah. It's an island not too far away. It's crazy as fuck, but the animals there are a bit of a good challenge, especially if you just want to do pure physical training. Really? I mean, the giant boar gave me a lot of trouble, but I was able to get it whenever I kicked the side of a mountain and kind of caused a bit of a landslide. You buried it in a landslide. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just, I'm a little, I need to actually do this, alright? Right. Quite passionate about all this, huh? Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of what I was raised to do. Deku on his own turn, watching as currently Denki does gonna take the pot he doesn't have. I'm gonna walk over. Him going to dump it over into a cauldron. As he starts to mix a few more things together. Him also talking about it. Him taking a knife he does gonna pull from his waistband and bring it up. Him starting to somewhat cut slices off of the giant boar. As right now Deku does a turn. Him goes on watch as right now he does it a walk over to a table. Him going to actually somewhat sit down and watch Denki get to work. And right now Denki, he does show how passionate he is about this entire project. And eventually the crew, they do all go to arrive. Now, Denki does get everything a lot more set up. And he does go to express about how lunch is served. As right now everyone, they do just don't watch the meal in front of them. Denki, he made a soup. And it's got potatoes, a few other things inside of it, and the meat. He's also serving it with a bread. So that's interesting. Currently, everyone looking around at the table. And Denki does not talk about it. He hopes that they all do like it. I mean, it's something that he was taught early on whenever he became a chef. Hmm? Yeah, right, Blondie. I'm sure this will be real fine. Bakugo saying. And now Kirishima, he doesn't bring it up and starts to sip the broth. This is actually really good. Don't sip it. You're supposed to use the bread to absorb the moisture from that. Huh? Really? I mean, yeah. I did have to mess around with the meat a lot, so it's gonna be tender, but it might still be a little rough. Now, everyone, they do just don't dig in. And currently Deku, he actually is a bit more surprised. Currently, him sitting there, as someone just going to walk up. And Deku, he's going to turn his head. As right now Boa does come walking up with somebody in her arms. and Deku immediately does a choke on his food, bringing his hand to his mouth. As everyone is a turn, seeing that. And Denki, he has a turn himself, asking if Deku, he's alright, or if he thinks it's bad, as he doesn't bring up his hands. And Deku, he does just don't swallow the food. Him going to turn and look to see Boa, who does come walking up with her daughter in her hands. Now, currently Deku, he does want to sit there. Him going to look down and bring his hand up to his head, as Boa Hancock does to walk over and sit down right next to him, with a girl who's almost 2 years old in her arms. And the moment everyone does a turn to see Boa, there actually is Momo, who does actually something going to turn and drop the piece of bread in her mouth, dropping the fork, as currently everyone does a stare at Boa. And Deku, he does this one sigh. And there actually is Denki. He is seeing proof, not only that Deku, he's married to Boa Hancock, but he's got laid. Ah, god damn it. Now, Denki doesn't want to sit there. Him, about to worship Deku as a god, as right now Denki, he has to see Deku turn and look up, everyone looking back down to their meals. However, Bakugo does still going to make a comment about it. You know, the food's actually pretty good. I must say, this actually is rather delicious. It's pretty good too. Now, Boa actually is going to reach over. Her going to get a plate, as she actually does go to also get a bowl. Her getting some of the soup and talking about a few things. Expressing to her darling about how this actually does taste quite adequate. Only adequate, Miss Hancock? Do not get me wrong. It's quite an impressive meal, though you are missing a few key ingredients. In fact, you must prepare something quite similar to a delicacy we have on this island. Though, we usually like to let the meat get a lot more tender. I understand, but I only had short notice on the meal. And prepping it wasn't easy, especially with the wildlife and those weird mushroom plants. Did you encounter trouble? I encountered some, yes. Though I was given help by some Kujas. Correct. As long as you are a part of my dearly beloved's crew, we will help you. However, the moment that changes, we'll hunt you down. Right, right. Please be joking, please be joking, please be joking. That on Decky's mind. When currently everyone, they do something to eat. The conversation was a bit lively, but then it went silent. Now, Denki, he does actually at least gonna get everyone's dishes. Him a bit more happy that everyone actually liked the meal. And he does at least want to talk to Deku about a few things. The man's living his dream. Though, maybe there's still something they can do. I mean, he might not get Boa Hancock, but maybe at least get somewhere? That's on his mind. And Deku, he at least does get someone to talk about it. He wants to test his skill. See exactly how good he is at fighting. And Denki's a bit more annoyed. However, he actually is a lot more surprised about how Deku, he wants to see him go against Kirishima. And this just does not feel fair. And right now Kirishima, he does want to talk about it. Him bringing up his hands and talking about how he'll go easy on him, since that stew actually was pretty good. Alright, man. Think he's going to drop. Him going to bring his hands down as Deku's going to watch him. So I'm going to widen his stance a bit as he does this talk about it. As Deku does it watch on. And Denki, he does this won't stand there. Now, Deku does watch these two face off, as currently Jiro does this stand there herself. And Deku, he actually does not turn to her, as Jiro does ask if he's going to watch the two fight. I am. Though, Jiro, do you have any combat capabilities? Oh, I do. I received training, specialized training. Interesting. So, what do you know? A few things, actually. Why do you want to know? I'm curious. I like to have details about my crew members. I give them complete and total trust from me, as long as I do get the same back. And so me and Bako do work pretty well. Also me and Momo. You have a daughter with Boa Hancock. Yes, I do. Why are you bringing that up? It was quite alarming, is all. I noticed the way everyone they looked around and they weren't really expecting it. Especially Momo and Denki. Yeah, I was hoping that no one would really find out, though I'm going to have to deal with her later. Deal with who? That's personal. Listen, all I'm saying is, I didn't want you guys to find out about that yet. I wanted that to stay private. And why would that be? Deku looking back towards the battle, seeing right now that Denki, he does get a rush forwards and throw at his legs. Him, Jindoki, threw himself through the air and smashed into Kirishima's face. He was trying to go for a quick takedown. However, Kirishima, he actually started to use a lot more about his stone manipulation and show off his actual power. And Denki, that already put him on the back foot, though he does in a sense go flying through the air, flipping backwards and landing on his feet. Him stepping backwards, trying to regain his balance and get distance from Kirishima. Now, Deku does a turn back to Jiro. Him talking about it. And right now the battle does continue, as Bakugo does continue to work out on his own, and the crew, they do eventually get not only the Denden Mushies, but a bigger ship. And right now the crew, they do need to depart, do their own things, and maybe then it will all be good. Now, this does mean quite a lot. Toru is the fleet commander. However, she is going to meet Ivankov, he actually is quite surprised seeing a girl like her. However, after hearing that she was an Impel Down, he does get a little bit more respect for her, because she understands what it's like being in that hellhole. And that does mean quite a lot. Now, Toru does command the fleet, and after they do to sail off, Deku does to watch them sail into the distance. As right now Boa does he's going to let Deku go. Him somewhat watching Boa as she's smiling at him, her face still a bit red. And Deku, he does is going to somewhat give Boa a kiss and whisper something to her as he does leave. Now, currently the ship, it does get to set sail. And this does mean quite a lot. They are heading out to Water 7. They need to find somebody who can help not only repair but manage the ship. Maybe even expand on it for them if they come across any travelers who might join up. Or, well, help them out. It'll mean quite a bit. Now, as Deku currently does not going to sit there, he does have a lot going through his head. Right now, Deku going to stand right on the deck as Kirishima and Mina are talking. He doesn't see that. He also has a turn to Asui, him informing her about where they're going. And right now, they do get to somewhat encounter a few things. They do encounter the Marines. However, the crew, they disperse them rather quickly. And that does show they're on the right track. The government is coming after them. All for One is coming after them. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. As right now somebody, they do somewhat sit there. Them with the Denden Mushi in their hand and talking to somebody. Now, with that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.